Welcome back into another Dragon Ball Super card game video, and today I want to go ahead and extend the discussion from the ban list that came out a couple days ago, July 16th, I believe, 16th, 15th, one of those, and talk about the decks that kind of got a boost from it. If you haven't seen my reaction, full video, all of that when I live streamed it, it is in the videos. I'll put a link in the description as well. But before I begin, I want to talk to you, yes, right there, the person who clicked on this video but is not subscribed. Look at these numbers here. Probably that is just ridiculous. I don't know why you would watch anybody but not be subscribed. I don't understand. I think the only way to fix it is that if you subscribe, and I am now going to try to give out a set 14 box by the end of August 31st, if I hit 5,500 subscribers by that time. And the last thing to mention is that our circus series for the 28th, I do believe 2 weeks from now, or 2 Wednesdays from now, not this Wednesday but the next Wednesday, we are giving out TP packs, the latest TP packs. So please go ahead and sign up in the description below. It is a $5 entry with $1 for shipping. It's going to be good fun. All right, let's get into the cards and discussion. If anything, it is interesting to see the ban list touch on a number of things, but also not really touch on other things. And it sort of has this weird back and forth effect. And I think sort of the decks are a little bit up in the air. And I think these are sort of my guesses of what we'll see a little bit more and what people should be trying out more often. But before I even begin, I feel like not even a boost, but more of like a person or a thing that kind of escaped the ban list altogether and sort of should have been addressed a little bit more directly, other than the U9 Assemble being band limited or whatever. I personally think that the U9 Assemble should have been errated to only a U9 leader, which is weird because even Bergamo, if you play the deck enough, you'll know that it's more predominantly blue. But for Mecha Frieza, this is definitely a W for them, or for Mecha Frieza players, and as well as the leader itself, because yes, you do have less draw and as well as a less easier target to use for your leader effect. But at the same time, again, I said it in the stream before, where it was U9 Assemble today and a different card tomorrow. And there are other cards like Power of a Super Saiyan, the new Faded card where you tap down something like a Unison or something else. I forget. I know you draw one and you pay one for it. And then there's other stuff like I Am a World Champion, and as well as Kefla's Fury. There's other cards that will still draw you 2 to 3 cards. So I don't really see the understanding. I don't know. I guess it just makes it harder for Mecha Frieza players to do Mecha Frieza things. All right, next up is going to be blue leaders. Man, I am very surprised that nothing in blue got really touched. There are a lot of silver bullets, not only because of like the Hirudegan days and the Storm days, and leading up to the time of now where we have different like anti-untap cards, anti-blue cards, and things like that for the best of 3. But I don't know, like Baby still has reduced cost cards. Super Saiyan Goku can awaken early, get a huge hand, and be super defensive and untap. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan can do the same thing, but now it can go vanilla aggro all over the place. So I feel like these things being dodged or just not addressed in the ban list some way, somehow, because everything else, like the top decks or the higher tier decks, I should say, got touched in some sort of way. These guys didn't do anything to blue. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see some more blue stuff. I don't think like the Hirudegan leader, I think is okay. The new Hirudegan leader is pretty good because you can look at the top 5. It also has self-awakening, but it's not as nearly as good as the Super Saiyan or the Reboot Goku here, just simply because you don't have to take life to awaken and do the draw too. So I don't know. So King Vegeta, so I don't think necessarily he got boosted. I still think he is a tier 1, tier 1.5 leader. I feel like he is pretty much tier 1, honestly. But I think overall so King Vegeta, so I don't think he necessarily got boosted, but because all the other higher tier leaders got knocked down just a little bit, him being, in my opinion, a tier 1 leader, got a little bit of a boost as well because of it. Plus, Red didn't really get anything really touched. Champa's still here, New Ruler is still here, Junior Unison still here. There's a lot of good red cards that, you know, King Vegeta still uses. But on the opposite side is that set 14 did introduce some of these cards, which the only downside here is that you can only use it once per turn of the game, or use it for the game once. And it basically says if your looter card is green or yellow, then there's other ones in other colors. If you take a damage from a opponent's non-keyword skill, you get to play the card from your hand, and then you get to recover one, which is a Digimon term, but still. And you can't use the auto skill on copies of the card for the remainder of the game. I don't really agree with this. I feel like there should be a limit 1 or something, but I can understand playing 19K cards for free, and as well as recovering a life over and over again is probably not that great. But on the other side, doing it for free, searching through your deck and thinning it out, and playing out something that is a card or something that burns you a life or crits you a life, doesn't even burn, but crits you a life, I feel like that should have been addressed somewhere, somehow. But I feel like we're going to address that sometime or another. I feel like this is probably going to be the next thing that people complain about. All right, moving on to the burst leader. So I love the fact that Vegex got touched. It is okay in the way that they touched it. I think people argue that is a little bit more safer to use Overwhelm. That the RNG aspect is not that bad anymore. The fact that you can probably use a 50 card deck or somewhere close to that instead of like 55 to 60, you know, things like that. But I think because of the burst 3 on the Vegex leader, it allows you to still use Vegex. But it also makes you, wonder, okay, what if I put the same stuff within these decks, and what do these decks offer instead? Obviously, I love the Xeno Goku. This guy over here, top that one event, I forget, but it showed that you can still use it. Kai still kind of loses the blue, unfortunately, but the new Mass Saiyan is very interesting. Very unfortunate that Heartfield got touched in that way, but it is still a pretty good deck. And all these guys burst 3, and you kind of have to compare. The biggest thing that Vegex has is the fact that it doesn't mill itself out. So now you can probably use like the Black IAR, you can probably use like Hachiak, you can probably use all this other stuff that puts more things into the drop, use the Overwhelm, and as well as have that permanent to back you up as long as you have that 20 into the drop. I would love to see more people play with these leaders. Some of these leaders are my favorite. Again, Xeno Goku, Reboot, Bardock, and as well as Kai. Kai's great. I don't know. Moving on though, speaking of black, we have Gogeta. So the Gogeta leader and as well as the Gogeta package. So not only the Gogeta leader should be now considered now with Dark Broly being sort of a glass cannon offensive type without the 0/0 cost, even though it's not really going to make a difference because they are playing this package and now they can play this package. Maybe there will be like a Dark Broly skill list. Who knows? Maybe I'll look into that. But either way, Gogeta, as far as the leader goes, is definitely pretty strong. Shout out to Get Him. He showed up in our circus series, went undefeated with it, and people from there have been trying out Gogeta because of that. And the 6-drop here, as well as the rest of the package with the barrier removal, the blocker, all the other stuff is really, really good. And just these 1-drops that actually go with the unison as well as the TP are just phenomenal. It's just great. And now there's some more support in these 30Ks in which you just pay 1 energy, and now you get to have these 30Ks that recur, and as well as defense in this blocker. We have a couple more answers in the new Kibito, but honestly, whatever, man, whatever, Bandai, you printed this stuff, it's 1 energy, and Dark Broly's still around, so I don't know. Either way, moving on to Broly. So Red Broly, man, I believe that people might lean back to Red Broly only because now Mecha might have a little less play because of the Unite Assemble, and Mecha was kind of that check, and as well as in my opinion, Dark Broly has a pretty good matchup against Red Broly as well. So you probably will see this in the future. And also the other one that kind of got boosted, or at least dodged the ban list, was the new ruler. And it makes sense now because now today it got released that this is a new winner stamp in the upcoming online and as well as in-person tournaments, I think for Gen Con. So if anything, it makes sense that new ruler didn't get touched and Red didn't get touched. They're more than aware of what they're doing here. And I think Red Broly should see some more play. All right, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think all of these decks are pretty accurate? Do you think we'll see more play as far as they go? Do you think I missed anything? What are decks that are the opposite? What got hit really hard? I already know George, Aspira, Catastrophic Blow. Let's not talk about that. Either way, I'll see you in the next one.